Everyone, it's Anthony Allen Ramos. All right, I'm so excited that the Bravo series Family Karma is finally coming back for season 3 on November 6th at 9 o'clock. This season, we're gonna see 2 weddings, including that of our friends Amrit and Nicolas, who they're both joining me right now from Miami. How are you?
We're good, Anthony. We're talking to you. It's a beautiful morning. Everything's great.
It was great to see you both at BravoCon. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I was really crossing my fingers for like another season of the show, which I know so many of the fans were. So we were so excited. But listen, this is, it kicks off with one wedding. It's not your wedding, but how excited are you both just to get to continue to tell, your authentic story in Indian culture and really just, start so many important conversations?
Sure. Anthony, I've said this before. I said it through season 1 and 2. We are so excited and we are so appreciative of Bravo for letting us tell our story. Representation absolutely matters. When I was growing up, I wish I would have seen someone that looked like me, who was Indian, who was gay, who was able to come out, and who was able to get married. Marriage equality just passed 2015, but sometimes it just feels like we're taking steps backwards. So we are so grateful that we have the opportunity to show people that you can get married. You can have that dream wedding if you really want to. And hopefully that's what we do.
I think at the core of what we're trying to do with telling our story is just to explain that we want the same human connection that everyone else does. We want to live and experience the human experience just like everyone else does. We want to love and be loved. And we want to make connections that make us feel part of a community.
I love that. It's so true. And so you all are married now, obviously, we know that, and then we're gonna get to see this kind of unfold on the show. But before we get to that, your bestie, I was like, I cannot believe that he's getting married before you. I never thought that would happen. I mean, right? Am I right? Like, what was your reaction? Finally, cheers.
I think, I agree with you, Anthony. I tell people, Michelle and I, we've gone through all of these big moments in life together. We are about 60 days apart, same age, same year. I'm born in March, she's born in May. So we went through grade school together. We went through high school together. We had prom, and we didn't go with each other, but we had prom. And we had graduation and college and the first job get after college. So we've done all of these big moments in life together. It felt so right and so perfect, Anthony, that we were getting married within a few months of each other. Now, to answer your question, him going first, we're happy that he did that because it was a trial run for our wedding.
Yeah.
But 2, it made more sense because, our journey was very different than theirs. Theirs was a long time coming. We've been waiting for them to get married forever. Ours, we didn't have a very long engagement. We worked together and we dated for a very long time, but our engagement part of it was not as long as theirs. So I think it did make sense that their wedding, they got married before we did.
I think that if you read between the lines, Amrit there's this competition between the two of them. Us getting engaged and us starting to actually plan a wedding, set a date, that lit a fire under Michelle's ass to get it in gear.
Finally. No, but it is really smart though for you two because, we'll get to see, you get to experience all of what they do, and then you can say, you know what, that worked, that didn't work, I wanna do this, I don't wanna do that. Did you kind of take what they did into consideration for you what not to do or what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Viewers will see it in the first episode. I had my mental checklist, my legal pad, and I was like, okay, we're not doing this. I think I like that, but a different version of that. And you'll see that play out throughout the season. Weddings are so special because I truly think they personify the couple that are getting married and their relationship. Michelle and I are drastically different people. We're childhood best friends. I love him sometimes more than life itself, but we are drastically different in terms of our personalities, and our relationship is very different than Michelle and Rich's relationship. So I think viewers are going to be able to see that personified in our weddings. But yeah, we definitely used his as a trial one.
I mean, there were definitely notes that I took about their decor because their reception, the moment that they created with all of their greenery is just out of this world. And green's one of my favorite colors. It was a very prominent color in our actual decor, and I really incorporated a lot of what they had.
So at the end of the day, we want viewers to decide whose wedding was the best.
No pressure there. I mean, these weddings, people, get ready when you see this show. I mean, how many zeros are involved in the budgets for these weddings? I want to know, but I don't, because it is something.
It's giving me anxiety just thinking about that. So let's actually go to the next question.
Yeah, you're like no comment. But for your wedding, I believe were you married in April? Is that right?
At the end of March.
Correct.
Yeah, last week of March, first weekend of April.
Got it. And then we're gonna see that happen. What was the most magical moment? I mean, we're gonna see all this play out, but what would you preview for us of what we're gonna get to see in terms of the?
Okay.
So
I know mine, but you want to go first?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a stupid answer, Anthony. It probably is. The most magical moment for me was that Theo was very much part of our entire weekend celebration. Viewers will see it. Viewers, you have got to see the role that he played because it is the most adorable thing. He is so near and dear to both of us. He's such a big part of our relationship. And we were just so happy that he took a very active role and he looked very sharp, Anthony. Don't worry, he had multiple outfits for the day, custom made from India.
I love that. I mean, I cannot wait to see that. Nicolas, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think the most magical moment I had was walking into the room where we actually had our ceremony, and our designer had created, it's called a mandap. Hindus get married on an altar that's called a mandap. And ours, we brought the outdoors indoors, and there is so much greenery. It was just astounding. I mean, you opened your eyes and it was like you were transformed into a dream.
It was an out of body experience. Honestly, the moment we saw that, it was incredible.
Yeah. I love that. And we're gonna see, for the most part, everyone is very welcoming, very accepting of your relationship, of your marriage. I think it was your mom that said, I love them and I'm so happy they're getting married. It's still a little different. Do you find that for the most part, everyone is just, super okay and supportive now that you're married?
We did find that, we have a very supportive community. Viewers will see that it's not always, rainbows and butterflies. And viewers will see it, throughout the season that even people near and dear to our hearts are still, I don't like the word struggling, but are still trying to understand what it means to be gay, what it means to be married to a man, what it means to have a wedding that's not as traditional to what they're used to, and people that are very near and dear to us. So, and I think that's important for viewers to see because we don't want to sugarcoat anything. We don't want people to think it's just a walk in the park because it's not. It is a journey. You will have difficulties, you will face hurdles, but as long as you're working together and as long as you're having open conversations with the people you love, hopefully you can make it all happen.
Yeah. I mean, this wedding, as fans watch this season, they will see a very traditional story arc where there is build up, explosion, and then we crescendo down, and that you will see all of that take place. There is a decent amount of culture clash this season. Amrit comes from a Hindu family. I come from a white evangelical family, and there are definite differences that play out. But at the end of the day, the foundation of our relationship is love and respect, and you can see that love wins, love prevails.
That is a good tease, everyone. I'm very excited for all of that. I mean, at the end of the day, it is your real life, but you know what? Bravo fans live for the drama. So, we will have to see how it all unfolds. Speaking of fans, BravoCon, what was that like for you both? Because I was there with you for part of it. It was wild, it was exciting, it was all of the things.
Bravo honestly outdid themselves. They went above and beyond and through the most incredible weekend, not for us. And we weren't the focal point of BravoCon. It was for the fans. We loved seeing each and every one of them. I think day 3, someone asked me, like, aren't you sick of these pictures? And I told that person, I said, I'm not. I want to take every single picture that all you guys want. I said, look at the picture, make sure you like it, because, they spent so much money and they traveled so far to be there with us and to support us that weekend was about the fans. And Bravo really made that show.
Again, it all goes back to that human experience and wanting to connect with people. We share our story, and it was so endearing to have fans come up to you one after another and explain how our story resonated with them. People of all races, men, women,
gay, straight, it didn't matter. People told us, they came up to us in tears saying, we came out to our family members after we watched the episode where you came out to your grandmother, and to know that I had that impact, even on a single person, it made it all worth it.
I think that was the most rewarding part of the entire weekend.
It was.
Just connecting with fans, having people walk up to you and they just want to share how your story impacted them and how it allowed them to therefore do something in their own lives.
And I will say, Bravo has the most loyal fan base ever. I'm not just saying that because Family Karma is a Bravo. They have the most loyal, lovely. It felt like one big Bravo family the entire weekend.
I know I am one of those crazy fans. I get to do this stuff, but I literally am one of the Bravo fans, and I'm like, it was so cool to be there. And back to what you said, that's what it's all about. The impact of the show, people feeling seen, people feeling represented. That's why it's so important that these shows exist. And like I said, even though it is rooted in the drama and all the things, really though, there is such impact and takeaway. So I'm so glad that you got to receive that from the fans. You also got to hang out with the Real Housewives of Miami too, because they were on your BFF panel that you did with Vishal. So do you ever cross paths with those ladies?
We actually went to a benefit event
with Smile Train. It's
Smile Train,
a charity that works with children who have cleft palates across the world.
And we saw Marisol, we saw Alexis, we saw Geardy. Julia is obviously so impactful as well, being part of the LGBT community, and
she was also a gem to interact with.
She was.
So let me go of her.
We hadn't interacted with her too much before BravoCon, but BravoCon gave us the opportunity to just, talk to her, meet with her, hang out with her. And she was so incredibly sweet. She loves Indian food. I said, you have to come over to my mom's house for a home cooked meal. And she said, I will absolutely do that. So we were able to forge relationships that we want to continue going forward because, like I said, it is one big happy Bravo family.
I love that. And you know what? You mentioned your mom. You said family. Next question. You're married. Do we want kids? What are we thinking?
Absolutely. Kids have been a dream of both of ours since we were younger, and fans will simply have to stay tuned to see where our journey towards parenthood
they will. We the one thing, we've known 2 things, one of which is we both want to be dads. I think we'd be great dads. We'd be daddies.
Daddy, yeah.
But the second thing is that we know that we don't want to necessarily wait a long time, to have the kids. We know that it's a process and there are going to be a lot of trials and tribulations, but we know we want to get that process started ASAP, and viewers are going to see that in the new season. And hopefully cheer us along with us.
So much to see in this new season. That was another tease, everyone. I'm here for it. Last question, are we still having underwear dance parties now that we're married and settling down and thinking about kids?
It depends. Did I go to the gym this morning? We are still doing underwear dance parties. That is the baby that Vishal and I have together. I tell people, actually, I do have a baby with Vishal. And their name is UDP. We're growing the business. It takes a lot of work to build a brand from the ground up, but we both are very passionate about it. We both care very much about it. We put a lot of time and sweat and money into it. So we're doing it. We are going to continue to allow people to be the best version of themselves in their underwear. And hopefully, you know, it continues to grow.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you two are the best. Nice to catch up with you. And just a reminder, everyone, there's a lot, like they said, there's so much to see in this new season, which begins on November 6th, 9 o'clock on Bravo. And then every week after that, I can't wait to see what happens. And I will see you all soon.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.